YouTube, how the devil are you doing? It's Guru King checking in again. I hope that you are fine and dandy. So today we are going to take a quick look at this. You probably know what this is. It's the UCO Lantern, but we're going to modify it slightly. Without further ado, let's have a look. So, as I said, this is the UCO candle lantern. If you're not familiar with it, it is a candle lantern, has a glass globe, candles sit inside, and it's sort of a funny shape. And they're just this is just the general paraffin wax candle. They do them citronella and also beeswax. The paraffin and the citronella candles burn for 9 hours. The beeswax ones burn for 12. They can be expensive depending on how you quantify expense. The beeswax ones work out to be quite expensive. They're about £12 for 3. You can buy them off various places cheaper, but the paraffin ones are about £3 for 3, which isn't too bad, I suppose. You can also buy moulds to make your own candles if that was something that you're interested in doing, but some people already have this sort of stuff in their house for the garden and what have you. This is clear lamp oil, paraffin. Essentially, paraffin will do if you haven't got lamp oil, but you'll need this. This is a cheap AliExpress type oil lamp thing that's designed, well, it's not necessarily designed for, but it fits inside the UCO candle lantern. So looking at it there, it is just a brass looking tube. It is not brass, it's aluminium. The lid screws off. You can just see there is a wick sticking out of there. This unscrews, creates a little chamber. This holds 40 millilitres of fuel. So this lamp oil cost me less than £5 for a litre of lamp oil. This holds 40 millilitres. That's 20 odd fills, providing you don't spill any, which isn't too bad. Works out, I don't know, 20 pence a fill as opposed to your candle. So if you're on a budget, it's a possibility. To put it inside here, you can just put it in. I would still use the UCO disc. You can take the spring out, but you'd lose it, take your eye out, so it fits in perfectly. So there you have it. That is the lamp insert inside the UCO candle holder. I'm going to fill it with oil and hopefully see how it burns and also how long it's going to last us. So there we have it. It's all set up, ready to go. So I'm going to pull the globe down, if I can light it, of course using the EDC Cooperative Zippo. It's lit. Slide the globe back up and hopefully you can see that that is lit. Doesn't look too bad. I shall give it a big blow. Seems to be going alright. So I'm going to put this somewhere behind me most probably and just leave it for a few hours and see. Hopefully it will be a few hours that it lasts for. Right, I'm back. It has been a few hours, so many hours in fact, it's now today, tomorrow, the day after. Anyway, I lit this at 4:30 in the evening and I stayed up. I was banking on it burning out at about 12:30. I was reckoning on about 8 hours burn time. I gave up at about 2:30 in the morning with it still burning. So safe to say, it does hold quite a lot of fuel and will run for a long time. I will say that from probably round about midnight, the flame had somewhat diminished. It was quite small. I noticed that the wick had also gone quite small. And this morning when I've looked at the wick, you can see that it has burnt quite a little bit off. Nothing that I cannot adjust. I can just put a bit more wick through, like so. And we're good to go, I think, for the next time. Now, I didn't tell you how much this cost originally. It was between £7 and £8. I can't remember the exact amount. I will put a link down here to where I bought mine from. So if you want to buy one yourself, then you can do. Mine didn't come with a wick, and I did buy a pack of 10 wicks off the same seller that were an extra like £1. To me, it is just string. I was expecting a reinforced wick similar to what you get in Zippos, for example. But that's just not the case. It's just cheap string, so I was done a little bit maybe with that, but it works. So if you want one, buy it. One other thing to say, there is a rubber seal on the inside there that you can just see, and that is on the wick holder, if you like. And then on the actual lid, even so, the seller states there is a second rubber sort of washer grommet, there isn't. So that top bit isn't fully sealed, as there's a vent hole as well as the actual hole that the wick goes through. Fuel can obviously pass out of there into there, round the threads and into your bag or whatever you're carrying this in. So I've been mindful of that, really. I'm not going to carry fuel in this to get to camp. I'm going to carry fuel in this. This is just an Nalgene bottle. This is 125 millilitres and it's scientific Nalgene. It'll be fine for paraffin. I can't remember what I paid for it. I bought it off a company called Tamarack Outdoors. Again, I'll put a link down there for that. 125 millilitres will do. Well, if that contains 40 millilitres, this is going to get me a few days worth, a few nights worth, which I think is more than adequate. And I don't have to carry the litre bottle around with me because that'd just be silly. Just as a note, I didn't leave the lamp behind me as I said I was going to do, because I was doing stuff in this room and I didn't want to knock it, so I did put it outside. And I did notice that when I went up to it, you could feel the heat off it, so it does give out a bit of heat. I've got no way of measuring that heat really, other than my pizza oven thermometer laser thingamabob, but I didn't do that. It gives out a bit of heat, so just be mindful, obviously, if you're going to hang it inside your tent, which would be a viable option, which is one of the things that I thought about. Just make sure that it doesn't create any sort of issues with your tent. Highly flammable sort of fly sheets in the tents, anything within your tent that's flammable. And obviously don't sit it on the floor and knock it over and spill your paraffin everywhere and have the same outcome, a very hot one. That's about it. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover with the little oil lamp. If you have any questions, just put them down below. I should get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'll link up here to some other videos that I think you might be interested in. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider doing so. That would be awesome. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you on the next one.